All right, so today we're basically talking about why a stand-up paddle board is the best way to get started with your surfing or ocean journey. I've spent a lot of years doing these camps and surfing all these different places in Hawaii and Oregon and Seattle and different types of waters, Texas, now the East Coast. And a lot of people, I think when they want to start surfing, they just go get a foamy and they just hop in and they become kind of a nuisance. But you should always start with a stand up paddleboard. So, first thing is just all the benefits you get of a stand up paddleboard. With a stand up paddleboard, you can cruise bays, lakes, ocean, whatever you want. You can go surfing, you can cruise, you can throw a cooler on there. It's just so many things you can do with just the stand up paddling aspect. Once you start diving into surfing, you get a lot more out of it as well. You start learning how to control a bigger board, get speed, your timing is different, the way you see the waves are different, and it just allows you to have a different outlook. And you're already standing when you're paddling for these waves, so you're able to get your wave count up, and it's just a better overall experience. You know, especially in a place like Washington. I've had a lot of friends start with me paddling, and we start them off in the flat waters of Puget Sound, super flat, nothing going on, and just with a few minutes of like boats going by or wind chop or something like that, they're able to take, just a few strokes and get that urge to like go chase waves. Like for the most part, even if you're just gonna be like a sideline paddler, just kind of cruiser, you're gonna end up wanting to chase waves. It's just like a natural thing when you see something like that and you're on a board, any type of ripple, you're just gonna go for it. And so with the stand up paddling, you can start and progress, and then you'll be way better off when you do actually get into some surf. And the second reason for why you would want to just start with stand up paddling is it's just more of a workout. Just having a paddle in your hand and being able to use like almost every part of your body is a great thing. So you're working on, your legs because you're stabilizing so you don't fall off. You're gonna feel it in your calves. You're gonna feel it in your hips. You're gonna feel it in your thighs, a little bit of glutes, and your core too. Your core is gonna feel nice and tight afterwards, and then that's obviously your hands, your grip. You'll learn the mechanics, and you'll figure out what should be hurting and what should be a little sore and what shouldn't. So it gets you kind of aware with your body as well, and it allows you to kind of like know yourself better because you're able to learn body control, which is a huge thing. And it's also easy to practice on land. You can just use like a Bosu ball and a broom, and you can do that at the gym or at your home or whatever, and it's super easy to train for. So you can also do those little small races that they have throughout the year, especially if you live in California, Hawaii, Florida, lakes up in Minnesota. They have races all the time, and then you're also able to just meet people at these events and the workouts and everything like that. So it's just a great community, and I think that goes with the working out. And the third reason is it really gets you ready for multiple sports. So if you go to Costco and you buy a foam board, that's all you're getting. You're just getting a foam surfboard. Unless you're really tiny, you're not gonna be able to use it for multiple things. So you can go to Craigslist right now all day and get like a 10 or 11-foot paddleboard that's $200, and you take that and you use that to learn how to balance, how to get your first paddling strokes in. You can do a race with it. That's what I did. I just hopped on whatever I could. Then you start going for distance. So now you've already covered paddleboarding, cruising, and then you've gotten to a little bit of racing, and then you want to venture into some surf. So you learn more respect for surfing when you have a big board, and you're just more conscious of like what your kill zone is and how much space you need. So from that point, you are already now into like three different types of things. So it's really easy. So once you start to learn how to surf that big board, then you're going to be able to ditch the paddle. And so now you have this 10, 11-foot board that's a little bit bigger than normal, but it's allowing you to get your pop up tight. So you're prone paddling, laying down, surfing, popping up, and taking all your cracks. And you've only paid 200, $300 for a used board, and so you can take that out to the summer break with your friends. You can learn how to do like a tandem surf, unless you're one of the thickies like me. But you have now this multi like Swiss Army knife where you can put your kid on the front. You can also learn to surf like that, or you can take your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and you're just expanding your sports. And then the same kind of maneuvering that you learn from paddleboarding, you can cross that over to windsurfing, and it's the same kind of platform. And a lot of boards also accommodate that, so you can get a stand-up paddleboard that can also turn you into a windsurfer, and then you pick up on that. Then you're learning how to read the wind lines, do all that stuff. And then if you just also want to prone paddle for distance, you can lay down and prone paddle. So now you're covering like 4 different things with just one board, which I think is super overlooked. You don't need 6 different boards. Even though I have 5 in my garage right now, it's just because I'm picky and there's things I like, things like that. But you only really need one board. And the other thing, that's once you do find a board that's kind of that magic 10 or 11 foot, that's just, you're not going to need anything else unless you really want to specialize and branch out. And at that point, you've already gotten really familiar with that big salad board that you can go down and up, and it's not too much of a learning curve to learn how to use that board. So the next main factor I think why stand-up is just better is just it allows you to branch out, and it same kind of thing as it teaches you multiple sports, but it just teaches you how to branch out. When you're on a paddleboard, you're more adventurous. You're looking for ways to like disconnect, and you're getting out there, and you're going down rivers and going through lakes, and you're traveling. So you have the inflatable options as well as just bringing your hardboard with you. You can take them anywhere now these days, and it allows you to go places physically on it, but then you can also use it to just get outside. It's a platform. You can do whatever you want. And if you get a SUP squatch or something like that too, even better. It's just a vessel to just kind of paddle out and get you out of your little bubble and your comfort zone. So it's another great reason why I love it. And then lastly, just why I like it personally, paddleboarding for me is like cultural at this point. Like, it's the only thing that really connects you to like the style of having a canoe and like having a native kind of a vessel. You feel like this rhythm that you get when you're just paddling, and so that's like a way to connect to kind of like my Hawaiian stuff and feel like I'm still doing something right. And then of course the wave riding. So you are learning to ride this big board with a big paddle, and it just feels right. Like there's something about paddle surfing specifically that just does it for me as far as like checking all the boxes and how I like to spend my time. So that's why I love it. And it's like I said, it's allowed me to go so many places, and I've done so much more stuff because I've paddleboarded that I wouldn't be able to do if you're just a surfer or just a foiler. Once you get that stand up down, you can pretty much tackle every other water sport, and it's not as big of a deal. So the main things that you should get away from this is just listening to your inner dialogue. And if you want to start surfing, go get a stand up. Do it with a stand up. I promise you'll have way more fun in the beginning, and you'll progress way faster. You'll able to cross train and get into fitness goals as well as your water goals on land, on earth, whatever, on water. You'll be able to turn it into a multiple sport board, as well as learning to branch out into other sports. The community is great. The people you meet are always awesome. And from here on out, you can always just go and ask me. Hit me up. I'll tell you what kind of bored, or if you need one, I can help get you one. The next couple months, we're still going to be in a little bit of cold weather here in California, but there should be some waves, so hit me up if anyone wants to get out. I'll also go surfing a lot in Washington. I'll be back up there, and I will be in Hawaii soon too, so just follow me on Instagram, hit me up, let me know. Let's get out there. Shoots.
You got everything, but let me add to ya. I don't fuck around and got attached to ya. If you running out of steam, I got